all together. We just didn't know it.
Oh, really? You went to Alabama?
Good morning. It's the following morning. We're all here to. Good morning. Say good morning.
Good morning.
There we go. And good morning. Broke the toe. We're about to hear a speaker.
What's your maiden name?
Paper.
Paper?
Like paper.
Where'd you go to school?
DACA is being invested in making these Jewish communities thrive and helping them move ahead and achieve the goals that they have made for themselves. And lastly, the thing that I love about coming on missions is they bring in speakers for us that we would not have access to otherwise. And we get to hear what's really going on for the people in Israel, to help us get a much deeper understanding of the issues that confront people here every day. And today we have such a speaker. And it's my personal pleasure to have Professor Gadi Wolfsfeld with us for a couple of reasons. One of them was that RUJC brought him to Duluth to speak just a couple of months ago, so I know what an interesting time we have in store for us. And besides that, he is speaking on a topic that is very near and dear to me. There is a movement called Hasbara, Israel Advocacy. And if you just go on the internet and type in HASBARA, you'll get lots of different websites. And those of us who are actively involved in that are involved in what I would call media watch activities. And we read and we respond. And we try to, as much as possible, get accurate information out to the media. We're probably not even making a little dent. I don't know, Gadi will talk about that. But at least we feel that we're letting the media know that there isn't just one group out there to whom they're speaking. So as I say, I feel very fortunate that we have Gadi here. We can learn from the experts about media and Israel. Professor Gadi Wolfsfeld holds a joint appointment in political science and communication at the Hebrew University. He's also director of the Levi Eshkol Institute for Social Science Research there. He received his undergraduate degree from Hebrew University and his PhD from MIT. He's been a visiting scholar at a number of institutions, including Harvard, one of my alma maters, Boston College, and the United States Institute of Peace. Originally from Philadelphia, Gadi's been living in Israel now for over 30 years. He's an expert on Israeli politics and the role of the press in the Arab-Israeli conflict. He served as political commentator for both the Israeli and international news media, including Israeli TV, the New York Times, Newsweek, and CNN. He's also served as a media consultant for the Israeli Defense Forces and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. He's published dozens of articles on the topic and 5 books, and Cambridge Press, have they published your book yet, Gadi?
Yeah, just came out.
Just came out, okay. He's got a new book out. Come on up, Gadi, and tell us about it.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. You look awake. Compared to I had a group actually last night, and they had just come off the plane, and it was a small group. That's actually better, because one time they gave me a group that had gone 4 o'clock in the morning to meet Russian immigrants coming off the plane, and then they gave them to me at 8. So I said, thanks a lot. I really appreciate that. Yes, as you heard, I'm going to be speaking to you about the media and try to answer the perennial question about why Israel looks so bad in the media. And I'm also, apparently from my discussions here at breakfast, going to hopefully try to break some myths. A lot of people have about that topic. But first I have to begin.
some of the stuff is not just for
The
show.
film case for the day.
They are.
No, this is- Yeah.
My little one. Don't trip in the time pothole.
To remember that in ancient times the city actually started right here and right further down on the southern end and only grew over to the northern to there. So originally this was definitely a part of the city. It was only the Turks who built the recent walls of the city only 450 years ago. They were built by Suleiman the Magnificent, the greatest king, Khalif, and he decided to leave Mount Zion out of the city and make it as it is now, and this is what we have now. But no doubt this part was always a part of the city of Jerusalem. We're quite lucky today because usually in the morning especially it's very hazy. Today visibility is great, and if you look over there, see that sort of bluish range of mountains in the horizon? Over there. Oh, okay. That's Jordan. These are the mountains of Moab. And coming down from there and between us is the Dead Sea, okay? So it's just nice to see how close things are in Israel and how Israel is small, and on a good day you can definitely see everything. In my place, for instance, I live just outside of Jerusalem on a very high hill, higher than Jerusalem. On good days you can definitely see the mountains of Moab and Jordan here and the Mediterranean on the other side. Now, we have to remember that until 1967, the city, was split. Why? Because in 1948, although Ben Gurion said Israel is like, Jerusalem is like the capital of Israel is like a heart of a body. If we don't keep the heart, the body will die. And therefore we have to keep Jerusalem. It was a great importance of the Israel military in those days to take the old city. Actually, we came from here. We tried to enter the old city. The old city, just behind here was the Jewish. Please let them go. Just behind us was the Jewish quarter. There were about 2,000, actually 1,700 Jews still lived there in very bad conditions. Most of the old city were Arabs. Thousands of people were Arabs. The Jordanian Legion was there and didn't let us in. We tried. We even bombarded the Zion Gate through which we'll go. You'll see the bullet holes there in a minute. But we didn't go in the city. We could not take the city, and the city was left in Jordan for 19 years. Not only the city, the whole eastern part of Jerusalem, including Mount of Olives and the cemetery that you see right there, and many other parts. Actually, there was what we call the urban line, the line that crossed the city all around like that, and it came from there, more or less straight, sort of, came around the old city, left the old city as an Jordanian peninsula in Israeli territory, then it went on all the way to what's now French Hill. So where was Israel? Where was Jordan? The old city obviously was Jordan. Mount Zion remained in Israel. Where was the border in 1967? Right where you're standing, right here. This parking lot was the border. And until 67, it was barbed wires, minefields. It was not an accessible place at all. Of course, after we came back 36 years ago, we made it a very beautiful tourist area, and that's where we have to go. Okay? Now let's go. Now we'll enter before we go, we're going to enter the city from Zion Gate. Just imagine, the Zion Gate was built like the wall in the year 1537, a little over 450 years ago. In those days, only camels and donkeys and some carriages went through. Now cars can go through that gate. And it's not just an open gate, it's actually a gate that you enter and you turn 90 degrees, and by that you got a great protection of the people inside. That if you want to invade the city, you don't enter, break the door and go right away in. You're sort of imprisoned in that building of the gate, and you have to turn. That stops your momentum, and that's harder to take the city. Okay?
Северо-западная часть старого города. С востока прямо вода. А теперь, друзья, что мы делаем? Выходим в старый город.
You see this Russian group, their guide is a very good friend of mine and a neighbor. She lives in the same community as I do. And she's my perfect example for the great miracle that happened to us with the Russian immigration. She came to Israel something like 11 years ago, I think. What did she not do in those 11 years? Became a tour guide, a very successful one. Bought a house, bought a car, whatnot. She'll never believe I told you all this, you know. Hi, Nina. מה שלומך? אהלן.
If I may, please try to stay together around here, all right?
שהתיירים שלך מכירים את התיירים שלי?
לא יודע.
אני רואה מישהי מכירה. תשאל אותה
כן?
איפה היא מכירה את
She's
האישה.
saying...
Thanks for asking. Yeah, but
It's an excuse that you can't question.
Of the quarter before it was evacuated in 1948. Here they sat and said, are we going to fight? Are we going to join the fighters? Are we going to give in? Are we going to surrender? It was here. Eventually they were all evacuated. In those days it wasn't nicely painted like this. It was much, much different. All these buildings are new buildings. This building is an old building from before 1948. And this is an example of how live this quarter is. I always love to bring people here and have them, you know, sometimes see or hear the kids. This is a yeshiva. The kids are studying here. Sometimes it's a recess, so they're all playing here. It's really nice. By the way, this is the olive tree. This is the blossom of it by the Christians in the Byzantine period in the 5th century. But we found earlier finds a wall from 2,200 years ago, Hasmonean period. We found a wall that was even older than that from Nehemiah's time, from the time of their return from Babylon 2,600 years ago. Amazing, right? And we also found 7 homes of the richest and the most wealthy and the most important people who lived in Jerusalem just before the temple was destroyed, the second temple in the 1st century. We're going to see this. It's not only here, it's in other places. I can tell you something else. There's one couple here called the Zippenbergs. They bought a house here and excavated underneath their own home and found a 2,000 years old home. They did it with donkeys because there was no access to tractors or anything like that. And they found tremendous things there. Anyway, the biggest place is right here. It's called the Herodian Quarter because it relates to the Herodian time, King Herod who built the temple. And we're going to see it right now. It's underneath this building. Now, when it was excavated, of course, this building wasn't here. The excavations were done in the early 70s. Then when it was done, they built the building on top. What is this building? This is the Western Wall Yeshiva. When you go tonight to the Western Wall, hopefully You'll see those kids coming down. I'm sure the ones that were here before saw it. Those kids are coming down to walk in fives, black pants, white shirts, singing to welcome the Sabbath down there in the wall. And I think it's very, very moving, very exciting to see these kids almost every Shabbat welcoming the Sabbath, the Shabbat at the wall, and knowing they come from the same place where their own ancestors, 2,000 years ago, the priests, the important people of Jerusalem who lived in those days right here, what's now the Jewish and the Armenian quarter, which means in those days was the upper city, the wealthiest, the most affluent place in Jerusalem in those days. They used to get up every morning, immerse themselves in the mikveh, in the ritual bath, purify themselves, and then we walk down to work at the temple. Same thing, or same route, is now done by their descendants 2,000 years later. I think this is fascinating. Okay, let's go in.
Because I don't like the cold.
Oh, I did. Found some crosses.
Can you download that to DVD? The computer? Your, this?
He's really an art. Yeah.
Please come closer. We came down to the Herodian quarter. Imagine the building is not on top. This was exposed like this. By the way, when you walk down, you see that picture over there, that photo. This is, I think this picture is from 1972, and it shows you how the quarter looked before it was all rebuilt and repopulated. Okay, now, what we found of those homes are mainly, of course, these homes were usually 1 or 2 floors, very fancy. Fancy, I mean Roman style. We talk about the first century, we talk about a time when Judea was religiously independent, but definitely politically a province of Rome. King Herod, who was a very, very influential and strong king, was a king that derived all its power from the Romans. He himself spent 4 years in Rome. It was, at that time, Roman style. When you go all around the Mediterranean, you find Roman finds, they look very much like this. In Pompeii, various places in Turkey, Greece, Northern Africa, Jordan, you always find mosaic floors, very, very similar things to this. So these, of course, these buildings did not survive, and I'll talk later why and how they did not survive. What we did find, though, is not the walls that were probably covered with beautiful stucco, and not the ceilings, but what we did find are the water cisterns, the wine cellars, the floors of the lowest floor, and these bathtubs, which are obviously, you walk down a few stairs, it was all filled with water. You see that the place is plastered because the limestone, which is a typical stone around Jerusalem, does not hold water, it's too porous. If you put water, it always drains through, so you have to plaster it so the water stays, doesn't leak. And obviously what we see here is a very typical...
It says no. Didn't say it for the other one.
Okay, are we all here? I want to concentrate on this more or less here, okay? You see? We came to another house right here. now they took for repairs or something, they'll bring it back eventually. So you can't see it. It's usually geometric forms, beautiful carpets with geometric forms. But let's concentrate on this. What they found here on one of the walls is this. What do you see here? A menorah. The 7 candles, 7 branches candelabra, which is today the emblem, the logo of the State of Israel. You find it in every official document, even on my little guide license, you find this, with the 2 branches of olives on both sides, because it says in the book of Zechariah 4, he has a vision that he sees the 7 branches on the candelabra and the 2 olive trees on both sides. That became the logo of the State of Israel. The menorah is mentioned earlier in the book of Exodus when God... Branches are much longer, and here's the question, is this really a realer description of the menorah? Because that one is in Rome. Maybe, maybe took the menorah to Rome, maybe they melted it before they took it to Rome, we're not sure, but no doubt this was done in Rome. This one was done when the menorah was still there, when the temple was still there, by people who lived right next to it. Maybe this is a realer description of the menorah. If this is true, this is very exciting. It's a very, very exciting thing, because why is it exciting? See, archaeology can be a very, very boring type of science, You take a long time to find something. Believe me, I dug a whole week once in Shiloh and found a few pieces of ceramic, that's all. If you find something that has some value, it's of course very exciting. But if you find something that has some connection to our lives today, it becomes a real dream, Like in Masada, for instance, they found those 10 charts with 10 names. One of them was Elazar ben Yair, the commander of that place. And things about archaeology is that whenever you dig, you find something, and when the deeper you dig, the earlier you find. That's the way it works. Thank God, in ancient times, there were no bulldozers, and they didn't remove things. So once something happened, and there was a destruction and rubbles, the next city was built just on top of it and left a layer of rubbles that was left for us for the research of the 21st century. Let me make it sort of clear. I need your hat for a minute, please. Here's bedrock, let's say, okay? And let's say the Jebusites come here to Jerusalem. They built a city with walls and buildings, and then there's some kind of a destruction. It could be abandonance. It could be a destruction because of war or an earthquake. This whole area is very active tectonically. We have plenty of earthquakes, one big one every 80 years. And there's a destruction, okay? A layer of rubbles is made. I need your hat now, please. Thank you very much. And another city is built on top, which is crushed too, and another one is built. He's going to be the last one. And another one is built, and so on and so on. And that's how we have what we call a tel, T-E-L, okay? An ancient site that grows and grows and grows with the periods. Jerusalem was built about 20 times. By the way, the city that was built most times in Israel, is Megiddo, was built 26 times. Of course, not every time it was built on the whole tel. Sometimes it was a small city, a big city, but that's basically how it goes. And these tels have a very, very straight shape. They go like this, You can definitely see this is a tel and not a natural hill. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry. See, I become violent. Okay. So when you come to Jerusalem, or the old city of Jerusalem, you see the street level of Jerusalem today is way above the street level of Jerusalem from, let's say, from earlier. What? Ashes. Right. This is a beam that was burnt. Obviously, it burned and fell down from the ceiling. The ceiling was made of beams, of logs of wood with mud. When it burned, it fell down. Obviously, this was one of those that fell down. When did it fall down? Okay, let's go back to Josephus Flavius. Josephus Flavius was an offspring of a priest family from Jerusalem. He was a priest. In the year 66, when things became bad between Romans and Jews in this country, and the Jews decided to rebel against the Romans and broke out with what we call the Great Uprising that eventually led to the destruction of Jerusalem, that was never built again until recent times. He was the head, the commander of the uprising in the Galilee. When the Jews were defeated there by the Romans, he, instead of sticking with his brothers the Jews, he simply betrayed them, changed his name from Yosef ben Mattatyahu to Josephus Flavius, went to Rome, sat next to a desk, and wrote the history of the world. He wrote a few books, The Life of Joseph, and a very important book, The Wars of the Jews Against the Romans. From him we know so much. He's known as a very accurate historian. So for history, for research, he's great. He's a great historian. For our, how would I say, for our emotional history, he's a traitor. But it doesn't matter. He wrote, from him we know about Masada, from him we know about Jerusalem, about Herod, about the temple, about how the temple was built, about the uprising, about the destruction of Jerusalem. All what we know, or a lot of what we know from him. He writes that the temple was destroyed on a very, very important day that we fast on until this very day, the 9th of the Hebrew month Av, Tish'a B'Av, 70 AD, around August 70 AD. And he's also writing that the upper city, the richest part of Jerusalem, which is here, was destroyed, was holding against the Romans another month, and was destroyed on the 8th of Elul, 70 AD, around September 70 AD. So we come now, 2,000 years later, we're revealing these layers, we're taking out the dirt, we come down to these beautiful mansions that were inhabited by our ancestors, the Jews who lived here in Jerusalem before diaspora was even a word, you know. And we come here and we see a beam, we see a remnant of the destruction of Jerusalem from Chet Be'elul, from the 8th of Elul, 70 AD. We can trace it to a day. Here again, the find matches with the scriptures and with what we know. And this is extremely exciting to find it here. Later we found other things, and we'll see it down there near the Davidson Center. Now, you may go, we don't have much time because we're way behind.
This is a replica of the mansion that we're standing in. Wow, what a beauty.
sister is up there.
We're here.
Green grass. First grass we've seen. Just about all Jerusalem. What do you say?
I haven't really been looking.
They build 2 big structures up on top and 4 big structures down here. And the reason why I'm going into all this is because we're in one of these
That fell down or were taken from stones that were still intact in Temple Mount by the Muslims in the 7th century to build 4 Muslim palaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, to accommodate their caliphs when they came from their center in Damascus to visit Temple Mount or the Dome of the Rock in their time to have a place to stay. Therefore, they built those palaces, and for a funny way, you see that the old city wall is going 1, 2, like this way, because it follows the walls of those Muslim palaces from the 7th century. Now, you know that the Temple Mount was, she said it was one of the biggest facilities or buildings in the Roman world. It was the biggest. It was bigger than the Colosseum in Rome. It was huge. 38 acres, she said. It was huge. And it was about twice as high as what you see now. Look how it looked. It had like a smooth wall on the bottom, but then it had sort of another wall with pilasters, semi-pillars for decoration. We don't see it here. Of course, all the ones that are original are the big stones. The smaller stones where the windows are, that's all an addition that was made later on and has nothing to do with the original stones that Herod built. By the way, these windows you see behind is a museum. It's an Islamic museum. When in times you could come to the Dome of the Rock, you would have to buy a ticket for the Dome of the Rock, the Aqsa Mosque. It also
This is Robinson Arch. And as he said, this was the ground that was discovered 3 years ago. So that's roughly year 2000. They discovered this ground.
That's what it's the upper city. Okay, folks.
That's what they thought they would find.
I suggest you very kindly if you can sit here, please. And you can read it. It's quite easy. And this is amazing. What does it say? It says, "Ureitem v'sas libchem ve'atzmotam kadeshet." It's taken from Yeshayahu, Isaiah, the last chapter, 66, verse 14. Actually, it's only half of the verse. And it says, "And when you see this, your hearts shall rejoice, and your bones shall flourish like young grass." What is it? This is a refuge. Who put it? Why? Okay, obviously it was put when the temple was already destroyed, meaning between now and 2,000 years ago. When? We're not sure. Probably there is an assumption that it was put there by a Jew who came here during the Byzantine period, when the Christians were here in the 4th, 5th century. In the 4th century, there was, because, after the destruction of Jerusalem, Jews were not allowed in Jerusalem for 700 years. Period. There were no Jews in Jerusalem. In the Muslim period, when the Muslims came in the 7th century and built the mosques, they allowed a few Jewish families to come from Tiberias and work on Temple Mount as slaves. That was the Jewish presence in Jerusalem in the 7th century. Later on, there was a small community here. We have all kinds of documents. Benjamin from Tudela is telling about 200 Jews that lived near Jaffa Gate, and during the Ramban time, 13th century, there were a small community in time. But that's in the 4th century for sure. But there was one year when there was an emperor in Rome who rejected Christianity, didn't want Christianity, wanted to bring back paganism to Rome, and he also allowed Jews to come here. It was in 361 AD, and one year it didn't succeed. Christianity didn't vanish, and paganism didn't come back to the empire. But maybe we think that year was more liberal. Jews could come here. Maybe this inscription is from that time. It's only a maybe. But what is it? I think what's beautiful about it is we come here in the year 2000. We come here when the Jewish quarter is flourishing with Jewish life. The Wailing Wall is full of pilgrims. The state of Israel exists. 6 million Jews here, 5 million something. And we see this graffiti that was put here so long ago. What is it saying? It's wishing that one day in the future, our hearts shall rejoice and our bones will flourish. When? When Jews are here. When the temple is there. When we come back. So I think finding this in a time when it is happening, this is really a fulfillment. This is a prophecy. And that's why it's so exciting. Really, it brings tears to my eyes when I see this. This is amazing. You know? And when you see this, your heart shall rejoice and your bones shall flourish like young grass. That's one thing that I want to show you. The other thing is right there. You see, we've mourned the destruction of Jerusalem 2,000 years. This was the biggest trauma of the Jewish people since until now. It was something the Jews couldn't get over. They remembered it every time. We prayed over it all the time. You all know what we do on our wedding day. The groom is breaking glass for what? To remember the destruction of Jerusalem, right? And here for the first time, we come here to Jerusalem, and what do we see here? Okay, they are hiding it a little bit. For the ones who are sitting, maybe you can't see it. All these rubbles here, all these stones fell down when? When did they fall down? When is this destruction? 70 AD, but when? What day? Tisha B'Av, of course. Folks, what we have here is a vivid live of the destruction. 70 AD from Tisha B'Av. That's our haven't seen the site here. Mansion over there with this burnt beam. We see remnants, we see finds. You know, in the burnt house, in the Cutros house, we saw a hand, a bone of a woman holding a spear. Wanted to fight, but she was killed, a Jewish woman. So, I think these things, you know, you come here to Jerusalem, you see this street, the Herodian street, you see how it was destroyed by those. So of course they're upset because this talks about Temple Mount. There's a question, how much was excavated, if we're going to continue to excavate and so on. So I think this place is more or less done. Of course you can always excavate more. Jerusalem can be excavated and excavated and excavated. There's no end to it. There is a law in archaeology that you, even though you come to a place, not a complex place like Jerusalem where you have people who live here and there's a political sensitivity and so on, if you just come to a tell somewhere in the Negev, you would only excavate 3/4 and not everything to leave something for better, for the future, for better research, for better knowledge. That's a law that has to be done. Here it's more or less done the way you see it here. Of course, if they took things from here, they could find many more mikvahs and many more, all kinds of things. I want to continue, but before, I want to read to you just 5 lines of a beautiful poem of a Jerusalemite poet. His name was, thank you, His name was Yehuda Amichai. I say was because he died, I think, 2 or 3 years ago. Unfortunately, he wrote a lot about Jerusalem. He was born in Jerusalem. He lived near the windmill, right there, not far from your hotel. And he described Jerusalem and many other things in a very, very beautiful way. And this is what he's writing about Jerusalem. Listen. Has anyone ever seen Jerusalem naked? Not even the archaeologists have, because it has never bared itself fully. It has always done new houses over the ones that were worn and torn and broken. Okay.
אתה ממשיך לצאת. בבקשה. אתה ראית שלט ואתה עברת. אבל שלט, לישראלי לא שייך שלט. אז תצא גם אתה. אתה דקה לא נשאר, אני אומר לך. סליחה, אדוני, ב-12 אני חייב לדבר שאין אנשים כאן. היה שלט.
היה שלט, אבל אף אחד לא אמר לי בכניסה לא חשמה עליי לסגור את זה. אז תגיד לי לפני זה.
יכול להיות שוטר כאן, יש מדריך שמתעקש לצאת חולדה ועבר את השלט.
Till the police officer will get here.
And these are the stairs that were used by the pilgrims, the commoners, not the priests who came from there, not the king, but the commoners. They climbed these stairs, came here, and entered Temple Mount. Now, like the movie said, that was very good, and I have to repeat it. For most of these pilgrims who came here on maybe Sukkot, Pesach, Shavuot, this was the first time to come, maybe last time. Just to see such a big building, so white, take your sunglasses out, see how this whiteness reflects. Just by seeing it, you become dazzled, okay? And just enter here, you're already in a very, very special atmosphere, okay? One more thing, you see that construction over there? This is the bulge, okay? That the Muslims are building inside, and that's what happens lately. One more thing before we go. On the right hand side, you see that window. Okay, above the window, you see a decorated arch. That's not ancient. But on top of it, you see a horizontal stone, the frame. That one and the few vertical stones on top, this is original from the, this gate right here. This is the original gate through which our pilgrims, our ancestors entered Temple Mount. And Jesus also, when he was 12, he came from here and had arguments with the money traders like I'm now fighting with this. Okay. So you see that the corner is filled with small stones because this was a cavity, this was a gate. Okay? Now let's go.
How hard was the stairs to see with the strength?
That was it. You see on the lower course is centuries, and first because they were simply not here, then because the Muslims were there and wouldn't let them pray there or do rituals there. And you know, when I could still go there with groups, I wouldn't even show this sketch that I showed you about Temple Mount, because this was an anathema that would, almost beat me right away when they saw it, because they deny any existence of Temple Mount, of the temple, first and second there whatsoever. So Jews were not allowed to pray there and do anything there. Of course, the temple was not there. So the closest ground, the closest supporting wall of the Temple Mount that was exposed, that was not covered with dirt and buildings, was here. And therefore, it remained the closest it could go. This is, how do you say it? This is the least that we could do. I mean, this is not the best that we can expect. But this remained the place that Jews prayed for centuries. Some Jews who come here as first time, they take a taxi straight to the airport. They come here, pray, touch, put a stone in the cracks, because here they feel most connected to the Jewish history and to the Jewish people. They feel that they are a part of this wonderful thing. So there it is. It's not escalated all the way to the end. It goes to the street, which is 9 courses down, but we didn't do that. We just built this plaza after 67, and that's the way it is. Police is over there. You have plenty of time to pray and to say whatever you want, to put out notes. Women are here, men are on the other side.
את התפילה לקחת לי שאני חבר'ה.
Some of the begging rabbis, begging black caps around here.
No, just leave him alone. Иди сюда.
This is from the Turkish period, 200 years ago. Very modern. Comparison.
It's called Between the Hedges.
We're waiting, they're not ready.
Right off the wall.
You tell them we're hungry.
Yeah.
A what? A what? Oh, nothing. Okay. Never mind.
Okay.
I know. I'm thinking.
No, nothing is going on. It's the end of the prayer. Let's go.
Which way?
To the right. No picture.
Distracted me, and I had all my attention on walking.
thought James was, I thought in the New Testament said James was the brother. I thought it was like, I didn't know there was any debate about that.
I know you're very bought up.
That's a pretty story.
You like one? I know, he needs one.
Obviously, this is not from what we call Second Temple time. This is not from a Roman influence. This is much earlier. This goes back to First Temple time. This is the wall that was built by Hezekiah to stop the Assyrians from conquering Jerusalem. And this was exactly 2,700 years ago. 701 BC. Did it succeed? Sure it did. Sennacherib, the Assyrian king, took a lot of cities in Judea, Lachish and others, and went back to his capital in Nineveh, and he put a beautiful relief describing exactly how he conquered Lachish, but he didn't take Jerusalem. And this is a remnant of that event, which is quite amazing. Okay, from here we go to the Cardo. 2 words about that before you go shopping.
Always a last year
What are y'all waiting on?
You!
I'm right here.
Pico has volunteered. She's party killing besides that. So yeah, what I do is I run the ambulance service and I ski until the ambulance needs to go out. So I just keep it going.
Did you get good stuff?
Huh?
Did you get good stuff?
I did get good stuff. Thank you for asking. Great t-shirt.
Hi. How you doing? T-shirts.
My son's going to get a kick out of it, yeah.
Let's see.
You can't really see it. Israeli Defense Force.
Oh, how old is he?
He's 6 on it.
Oh, Army guy?
I'm a 3-year-old. Nah, but I don't think it's cool because it's got Israel on it.
There you go.
His best friend is Israeli.
Why is he doing that?
What? The car going through the gate?
Yeah.
I've seen a few go through the gate before.
What did you end up getting, Andy? Let's see. Well, they have to see. What is that?
It's jewelry and pouches.
Jewelry and what?
Pouches.
Pouches. What? I'm coming to you next, and you're next. So hey, I'm just gonna go around. What you
And
What I got
Show me something better than Andy. Okay, thank you.
candles
Yeah.
from Spot.
Very
Give
nice.
to my friends. I thought this was something nice.
Very nice.
Holy Land.
Very nice. I'm going around the room now. Are you showing? I see a bunch of tags.
Kiddish cup. Kiddish cup.
Very nice.
Plate.
Oh, now see, here we go. This is somebody demonstrating. Thank you. Very nice.
And I got
Very pretty.
Jerusalem cradles.
Very pretty. Now, is that a hollow color? Okay. Very nice. What else you got?
Oh, that's so pretty.
Can you translate that? Huh?
Holy Shabbat, or Holy Shabbat.
Yom Tov.
And a good
And Yontif.
The Kavod Shabbat.
Excellent. That's very pretty. Is that for your own family?
Holy Shabbat table.
Your own table. Excellent.
It's an heirloom already.
And you have a cookbook from last night on
I do.
how to make challahs and cook, so
She did get it.
wow, you really took some home from Israel, didn't you?
She's going to be busy. I didn't get anything.
Yes, you did. What'd you get? This is water. Wow, my goodness. Did you get a pair of boots?
No, I got one of those wine thingamajiggerbobs. That's the scientific name. I should use that one already. You know the wine fountains that you pour the...
Yeah, all the Kiddush goes
all
in
the
there.
Kiddush wine, the one at the top, and then it goes out. And I got the Jerusalem dreidels, the acrylic dreidels that look like a gum.
Yeah.
And it came with he gave me a book to go with it. And then I got chazarai for my kids.
Chazarai.
Chazarai.
Multiple pieces?
Multiple pieces of junk.
Excellent.
They love junk. They do love junk. Well, my daughter loves to write. She's just learning how to write words and stuff. And so I got her like
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
I got a pocket full of rocks.
We are boarding the bus to go to the wall for Shabbat services. Don't figure to take the camera in there for the services, but we're all very excited. There's a big buzz in the air. Very thrilled to be part of being there for such an event of Shabbat. We have about 3 minutes before Shabbat starts. Before I have to turn the camera off. Just want to get a feel for the excitement and the buzz in the air. Because it is here. This is the women's section. And there's the men's section. Frantically getting ready. We have 2 minutes to go. There's the siren in the background if you hear it. Please have to turn this off. You'll be able to see. Any davening heads. All walks of life in here. This is the Muslim calling 5 times a day. It happens to be coinciding with Shabbat service. Those are some ancient churches in the background, along with many gravesites.
Okay, for
It's got audio. He wants to ride.
I've been asked to do the Kiddush. The Kiddush is on page 66 of the Bencher, so if you all want to open up. Sav, Raimaran and Rabotai, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Orei B'ri Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher.
Good morning. Rise and shine. How you doing, Aaron?
Good morning.
Good morning. Tell me what's on the agenda.
This morning is Masada.
Yeah?
Leave at 8. I'm not sure what's after that.
It is 7 o'clock. We're just looking around for breakfast, but it is Saturday morning, Shabbat morning. We're all very sleepy around here. Whew. But another day. Here we go. You ready?
I'm ready.
Masada or bust? Right?
Sounds like a wasteland. It sounds like.
All right.
One more beautiful morning here in Jerusalem. It's cold as usual. Unbelievable climate. Very hot in the day. As soon as the sun disappears, it's cold. We're all ready to go. As you can see, the streets this morning, it's 8 o'clock. And nobody's driving because it's Shabbat. Well, a few people, including us in our buses.
My name, I'm the guy from the Northeast New York mission bus. And this is that mission, and it's nice to see faces from the Yom Ha'atzmaut mission. And we hope you enjoy your time today. Our destination is, of course, Masada. Our first destination is Masada. And what I've done, because we're going to such a unique area in the world, I've closed an empty bottle. This used to have water in it. I just closed it. And we'll see what happens when we go to the lowest place, the lowest natural place on the surface of the Earth. The lowest natural place on the surface of the Earth is approximately 1,300 feet below sea level. Right now we're about 2,200 feet above sea level. And so I'm sure everybody took some physics in high school, or maybe in college, or maybe, no, there's water in here. Grazing in this area below sea level. We're just going below sea level, and I think you can see the bottle is starting to change, starting to show changes. Okay, so it's not something I'm making up by telling you that the pressure is greater where we're going, and I'm not making it up telling you that you'll see you'll be able to hold your breath longer. If you boil water, it'll boil a lot faster. Cars need the mixture changed if you're going to be here for any length of time. In general, we're going to a very healthy area, and what I'd like to highly recommend is after Masada, we're going to go to a little cafeteria in Ein Gedi. Ein Gedi is an oasis, a year-round spring, so that people can have a bite to eat. You don't have to eat, it's on your own expense. And then I recommend coming with me to the Ein Gedi Dead Sea Spa. It's a $10 entry fee, but we'll be there between 2 and 3 hours. You receive a locker, shower, you receive all the mud that you want to use, soak in the Dead Sea, freshwater pool, outside sulfur pools, inside sulfur pools. It's a good deal. Musa is a prophet as well in Islam, and from the 13th century this building exists, and this is a site of secondary pilgrimage on the way back to Mecca. If you look to your left, please look to your left, you'll see a very big building and a lot of houses. That's Jericho. That's Jericho. The ancient oasis we call today Wadi Kelt, Nahal HaPrat, Wadi Kelt. That big building is the casino that used to function up until October. Body doesn't know how to absorb them, or it doesn't decompose, and this cleans your skin in a way that soap can't. It doesn't dry it, and you'll see your skin feels very, very moist after soaking in the Dead Sea, especially after you put on the mud. But it's your own natural oil secretions and not the Dead Sea. And that's what's so special about the Dead Sea, is that you feel very, very, you feel 20, 30 years younger, because your skin is 20.
Here we go, guys.
You know what you do? I've actually got some decent.
We made it to the top. Let's hear it.
How'd you get your battery charged?
Yeah.
Let's hear it. Come on, I'm about to run out of battery juice. Woo!
Oh, hi. Hey.
Masada.
Take another picture for all the family.
Yes.
Yeah?
One for Vogue magazine.
No, he doesn't have one on. What are we doing, Aaron?
I think we're going upstairs.
Yeah.
You pulled us out of bed.
Yeah?
To go to the 11th floor to see a view of Jerusalem at night.
Okay.
Last night
in Jerusalem, I figured this was a good reason to drag you out of bed. Sitting there reading a book. Nathan's coming in a minute. Yeah, we have an armed guard. Hi. Yeah, I got it.
I swear I won't rip your coat here.
The hell is he wearing? I can't keep the camera still. He's wearing a navy blazer.
We never said we were high fashion.
A navy blazer.
Batman in a little coat. I know I'm gonna freeze.
Unfortunately, we are going down first.
I'm not gonna stay out there.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Is this? Are we getting on the roof?
Yeah. This is the last floor. There is
If I
a
get
very
sick.
nice balcony that you can observe the old city. Very nice.
If I get sick, I'm blaming it on you. Okay?
Can you flash me what's behind that jacket of yours?
These sweets.
Yeah.
Just for the camera.
Can you flash your jacket for a second?
He's not gonna have this.
Oh no. Just a sec.
The jacket looks a bit small for you, Nathan.
Exactly, it's yours.
That's
Why
good.
that
That's a
fat-
sharp jacket.
Fat man. And a little
Hey, don't rip the back of it. That's funny. Why'd you put that one on?
All my shit is packed.
Stuff.
You should have known you were on tape. You should have known you were on tape.
I have a charger
Yeah, I
battery.
specifically said that so this wouldn't make it to the final.
Final edit room. Wow, what is this? This is sweet.
What have we been waiting on? We're three guys.
Three beds.
Three guys in a
Beds in here.
cramped room, and we could have been in here the whole time.
Not to go on the stairs, alright?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful.
Unfortunately, all the lights turned off of the wall. Earlier, it's much prettier. All the wall is lighted.
Really? Oh, this is great. What is that building?
What? This
That's the
tower?
YMCA.
Yes, it's YMCA.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's huge. But this King David Hotel.
What's the YMCA?
That tower.
The dome? Oh, the tower. Oh my God.
That whole concrete building.
Yeah.
If you can see, there is a standard of building here in Jerusalem that you cannot build above the height of the YMCA tower.
That's the rule?
Yeah.
Why?
It's some going to the highest. No, don't do that.
Ah, I'm listening. Say it again?
You are going to get into the highest place around you, and you can see the old city.
What's the difference between that part of the old city and that part of the old city? Looks like two different places? Or is it just
No,
illusion?
this is the Christian quarter.
The
and
one
this
that's
is
lit
the
up?
Armenic quarter.
Okay. Jewish quarters on that far end?
Yeah, that
Muslim.
way.
Oh.
You can see the silver kippah.
Yeah.
Yeah, over there.
Yeah.
So before it.
Silver
over there,
what?
This is the
Dome.
Jewish quarter.
Is that the Dome of the Rock? Is that the Al-Aqsa? Is that the gold?
No,
No, the
this is
Dome
not
of the
gold.
Rock is to the left
gold
of
is
that.
Yeah.
over there.
Okay.
That's the other mosque.
Wow.
As I said.
So ends a wonderful time in the city of Jerusalem, Israel. Fantastic. I'm going to fade out. As we watch the city.
Meaning this was Israel since 1948. Further south and further north, it becomes the West Bank on both sides. But this road runs in the middle of the corridor to Jerusalem. So all these communities are Jewish communities, Moshavim. The landscaping is beautiful, really. The hills are very, very high. The valleys are very, very low. And very soon we'll go through Babel Wad, this valley through which the road is winding, and you will see those wrecks of vehicles that were used as convoys to bring supplies to Jerusalem before the independence during the War of 1948, and were shot by Arabs and therefore did not make it and were left here forever as monuments. You'll see them very, very soon. So on the bus, there are plenty of cemeteries in Jerusalem of all kinds. Even the one that Oscar Schindler is buried, the Catholic cemetery on Mount Zion. There are many, many cemeteries. The most famous one is the one on Mount of Olives. And until 1948, when there was no division between the two parts of the city, the Jews were buried there. After 1948, for a few years, Jews could not be buried there, and for a very short time, for 3 years only, Jews from Jerusalem were buried in a little cemetery near the Knesset. There's a cemetery there, just
just adjacent to the Knesset. In fact, my great-grandmother, who died in 1950, is buried there. But after that was a very small place, and in 1951, 52, they opened this one, which is until today is used as the largest cemetery of Jerusalem. So this is the largest one. It's called Har HaMenuchot. No, the general citizens. Of course, we have Mount Herzl also, which is for soldiers and dignitaries of the nation, and we have many more. And the actors come and lay a stone on Shmuel's grave at Mount Zion, and the background music was Jerusalem of Gold. Now, in America, it maybe sounded something Israeli, something Jewish, but in Israel it was completely inappropriate because it had nothing to do with the Holocaust. So when they brought the movie over to Israel, they changed that song and they used Eli Eli, Oh Lord My God, that was written by Hannah Senesh, this paratrooper that lost her life in Hungary, and that had to do with the Holocaust, with World War II. And it just shows you how connected we are to our songs. It's really a part of our culture. And he decided to create this religion. So basically they accepted the monotheism, the existence of one God only. But because these people were really pagan and very illiterate, very simple, he dropped all the commandments. He said you don't have to do all these things, and he only concentrated on 5. And the 5 are very simplistic, okay? One of them is the one-time trip to Mecca, to do the Hajj, you know, to make a pilgrimage to Mecca. Only one time in their life. The other one is to pray 5 times a day. It's called the Shuhada. And all what you have to do is pray 5 times, but the prayers are very, very short, and they always repeat the same verses, first verses from the Quran, and it's always the same verses in Arabic. So all the Muslims in the world today who are not Arab really don't understand it, because it's always in Arabic. The other one, by the way, is a very nice one, is the hospitality. A Muslim has to host, and it's really in their genes, and they're very good hosts. You come to them, even though you're a total stranger, they host you, feed you, let you sleep for 3 days and a third, because if you came at night, not to let you leave at night. You wait until the morning, then you leave, and they give you food or water, no food, nothing like that in the daytime. And that's not easy, but they do it. Okay? Sorry? The Druze. Yeah. A wall here, not a fence, to prevent shootings and all kinds of harassments from... Can you please raise the shutters here so they can see? Thank you. Okay, here is the wall. You see it's 8 meters high. It's about 25 feet high. And it happened a few months ago that a terrorist Arab came from Kalkilia and crawled under a sewage under this wall, came here to this road, and they found a car of a family that came by. This family stopped the car because the little girl wanted to a pit stop, and they attacked them and they murdered a 7-year-old girl, Noam Leibovich. So this happened here. So of course there's no question about the necessity of this wall. The Arab town is behind the fence, behind the wall, and this is also the green line. This is the green line between Israel proper and the West Bank, in this case. So here there's a wall that's needed. We'll go by Tulkarem, another town. We'll see a wall around there, and there's a wall in Jerusalem. Besides, the rest is all fence. The way it's going to be is like this. All around the West Bank, there are over 300 kilometers of fence, will be. There are going to be 27 gates through which the Arabs will be able to go back and forth to their fields or whoever. All these gates will be totally inspected. And there is going to be near, not far from Jenin, actually on the northern part of West Bank, there's going to be an industrial area similar to the one we already have in Erez. Yeah, here we see, where is the fence? Yeah, here there should be a fence. Yeah, there's no wall here anymore, and here there's a fence. Therefore it's hard to see. Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, you can see the pillboxes, you know, these towers, large towers. That will. A very large community, one of the 3 villages of the triangle. This is Kalansawa.
I'm not Israeli born. I come from Britain originally. I made Aliyah not too many years ago, 35 years ago. But I hope that my English is okay for you. I always crack the joke that once somebody told me that Britain and America, 2 great nations split by a common language. So hopefully that will not be the case today. Possibly my humor might fall flat, but let's see how. 35 years in Israel. I originally come from a place called Kafilish Lambradach in South Wales. We were the only Jewish family that lived there. And I've been a member of Kibbutz Mishmaemek, which is not so far from here, since making Aliyah in the 60s. Welcome to Kibbutz Chaviva, welcome to Israel. And thank you on a personal note and also on behalf of Kibbutz Chaviva for you coming to Kibbutz Chaviva during your stay in Israel. And possibly I should say today we have something called email. And cyberspace is so fantastic. I have email and I will give you the details of my email, and if you wish afterwards to have some sort of questions answered that you didn't think of today or other times when you're with Shlomo, then you can always email me. My profession, I'm not an academic, okay, and I'm not apologizing, I'm just making a statement. I'm actually a journalist, and I write a great deal about what's going on in this area between Jewish and Arab relations, or I should say lack of, unfortunately, more these days. The fence, the green line, all of that which is in this area. I'm also writing about a lot of other things too, but in the main, that's part of my work here in Kibbutz Chaviva. Kibbutz Chaviva is in an area that's known as Wadi Ara. Wadi Ara is the Arabic name, it's also known as the Little Triangle, and the Hebrew name is Nachal Iron, although very few people actually call it by its Hebrew name. I'm going to give you a map, and before I give you or distribute this map, I didn't tell you my name, did I? My name is Lydia Eisenberg. When I was young in Wales, I could never figure out how people knew we were Jewish. That's my married name. But I didn't make too much of an improvement because I was Greenberg before I married. This map is one for each of you. Okay. I hope, yes, this should be enough. If not, I'll bring some more. I think there are a few more than I anticipated. I need to explain something though before I give you the map. This map is actually a map that was produced, I think it was published in the year 2000, after the Pope visited in the spring of 2000. The Pope visited Israel, and there was great anticipation of many hundreds of thousands of pilgrims coming in his footsteps. And of course, the Intifada broke out
Thank you.
6325. 6325.
Army base, mandate period.
It's the smokestacks over the chimneys. It's the power station. Right near Caesarea or
We're actually
Caesarea.
now running parallel to the green line. To your right is Kibbutz Ma'anit. And to the left is Kibbutz Ein Shema, which is the Kibbutz of Shlomo. Born there, lived there today still? No, born there. Okay. Born and raised. Until 25 years ago, okay. Plateau Junction, directly ahead. Kibbutz Barkai here to the right. Founded actually by internationals in North America, together with others. Those buildings, those white buildings, this is East Bata, Palestinian homes. Behind the quarry there, Area B, a little yellow dot on your maps, and when we get up on top of the mountain and overlook, I'll show you exactly where it is on the colored maps I gave you. The name of the area in Hebrew, Nachal Iron. Of course, here they're spelling it I-R-O-N, iron. Iron is the correct pronunciation. Until recently there was a big sign here saying to the Iron Forest. And I can promise you there were no steel magnolias between the trees. It should have been Iron. Again now we're running parallel with the green line on the right-hand side. And on the left, coming up, is Kfar Kara, or Kari, I think it's written on your maps, but you can see also by the map and also physically now, is on the other side of Route 65. So the green line would be to the right, it's about 2 kilometers from here now, to the right, and Kfar Kara here on the left, which is part of the triangle, or the spitz of the triangle. If we're drawing it from Umm el-Fahim, Kfar Kara to Bakir Galvia, behind the River.
So, we're going to try.
Okay, you are here. Yeah. So that's behind you, and that's in front of you. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you're quite a large group, and I'm losing my voice the last couple of days. Can you come a wee bit closer together? Let's have a communal hug, and then I can maybe not have to shout quite so much. Maybe somebody who'd like of Karkur is resting on the green line. Are you with me? Yes. And at the foot of the R, you see on the other side of the green line a little island of yellow. Yes. Are you with me? Yes. Good. That little island of yellow is East Barta'a, down below. So now you know that's the West Bank. Now you know we are on the Amir mountain range. Remember what I put on the board? Katsir, 750 families. That's actually on 2 hilltops up here on the Amir mountain range. There's the hilltop you can see behind you. There are today around 400 families living there in very nice houses. Most of them are high-tech people, people with professions. This is a build your own, it belongs to the Jewish Agency, this hilltop. A sort of build your own home plan. I call it Yuppiesville. You know, if you had more time you'd see, and if you spoke to the people. There is another hilltop, we're going to go past it, on the right, which I call Legoland. These are actually prefabricated homes that were brought from the States, and they are the 7 stars, okay? The first of the 7 stars, partially this hilltop, the other one for sure. And there are living there 300 families. So 750 families together, Legoland and Yuppiesville make up Katsir, overlooking 1% of the West Bank, or Samaria. Okay? I also have to be very careful with the terminology. Everything's so political here. But West Bank, Samaria, and green line is coming between this hilltop, down below, and before the smaller hill, the lower hill's there. Why? It's a deep ravine. And that deep ravine, as it comes down to the village and reaches the mosque, can you see the mosque there with the minaret sticking up? 3 houses to the left of the mosque, that ravine becomes
like an open ditch, not unlike what you can see here actually, and it continues on, but not that way, that way. So now if you look at this side, the right-hand side of the mosque, the green line is actually that line of greenery that you see between the houses. And on the left side of the greenery is still the West Bank. On the right side is this side of the green line, therefore the State of Israel. Is that clear? I know it's confusing. Is that okay? All right. Now then, I'll ask you a question. With the new fence that has been built from Salem, that's the beginning of the fence that's been built just past El-Fahim in from Megiddo, as far as El-Fahim, the fence is on the green line. Now this is the second map that I gave you. Aha, I forgot to tell you to bring it with you now, but you can look at it when you go back to the bus. This one, those of you who've got it. Okay. You can see where is West Barta, where is East Barta, and where is the fence? Is it in the middle of the village? Nay. It's around the back of East Barta. And you can actually see it down below. It looks like a road, and it's going between East Barta and other Palestinian villages that you can see down below on the other side. So that means we have today 4,000 people living on the Palestinian side of Barta village. They are physically between the fence and the green line. This is the double whammy between a rock and a hard place.
Is this what they, they call a land grab? This is where we had the fence way behind the green?
I hate that type of terminology.
I said what they call.
If you ask why was it done this way and not according to the green line, well, first of all, what do you think would have been the reaction outside of Israel if Israel had decided to put that security fence right through the center of the village? Okay. On the other hand, it's a bit ridiculous that we built a fence to keep the Palestinians out and we put it behind them. Okay, when you think of it. But everything is not, there's nothing that's black and white. This is the Middle East, okay, and you have to explain everything.
Charge?
Okay, we're running now parallel to a section of the fence there on the right. You can see the watchtower where the gate is and the Israeli flag there. And on the other side is the village of Tura. Now the kids, Palestinian kids from these villages in this vicinity, when they need to go to high school, they go to Tura, which means that they have to go through the gate to high school. But also there are kids in Levo Dotan and Chermesh, which is Jewish communities on the other side of Tura. They have to come through the fence to go to school here in Shaked. So you've got Palestinian kids going this way in the morning, and Jewish kids, you know, these two little boys have just come through the fence. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the first sign is in English. Then we have one in Arabic and then we have one in Hebrew. So we're just going to go back a wee bit so the soldiers don't think that I'm going to try and go through the gate. And then I'm going to ask you to please come down from the bus. Be careful because he's going to turn around, okay? And there's other traffic coming from behind. And just follow me here to the corner on the left.
ask you please to join us?
We need passports.
No, you need a piece of paper that says that you... Okay, but now think about it. Do you know how many in Gaza times a cart drawn by a donkey or a horse has been used as a vehicle for a bomb? Okay? So, you know, I have to think about every side of the coin I can possibly in every situation I see here and not just take verbatim what I physically see. You have to all the time think, okay, what is it I don't see? As much as what you do. Okay. Behind you is the Jewish settlement of Shaked. Now, the map that I gave you that shows you the settlements, this one, okay? Shaked is marked on the map.
And it's really very, very beautiful. Everything grows here because it's near the Mediterranean. It's very humid here, and it's really paradise, not so much for people, but for plants. Always be, in a way, my home. I don't have a family here anymore. I only have 2 graves here. And my siblings are not here. But no doubt, whenever I come here, my heart pants. This is really a place that it will always be my home. Because a kibbutz is not only a way of living or a place, it's much more than that. To grow up in a kibbutz is to be a certain type of a kibbutznik, a certain type of person, which is really is recognizable until death. Okay, let's get off now. We're entering the ancient or the old gate of the kibbutz. Is this a nice compensation for the wine? Yeah. Okay, so not yet. You're about to. Okay, please go in. We go straight ahead. That's the theater. That's the movie.
I have 2 little boys.
Little is keyword?
Little what?
It's the keyword?
Ups and downs, and you've done mighty well.
Where is the border?
Oh.
This is the story of a big little pioneer. He came here long ago from a little shtetl in Poland. Nowadays, he'd never make it in the big city. He wasn't a diplomat. He wasn't a doctor.
Look into the who's next?
He wasn't rich, and he never vacationed in Acapulco. All he ever wanted was to come to Eretz Yisrael and work the soil. That's why they called him the Big Little Pioneer. His name was Leib. Later he changed it to Aryeh. That was 80 years ago, nearly prehistory. Today he's very spooked, a little wrinkled, still proud of what he created, though he sometimes wonders. Back then, he had no doubts at all. He was what they called a regular guy, full of enthusiasm, driven by a clarion call. He longed to return to nature, to start a new life. When he joined the Zionist youth movement, Hashomer HaTzair, back in Dokshitz, he knew that Eretz Yisrael was the only place for him. Can you believe it? One spring day in 1925, he set out for the big city to realize his dream. With him at the station were Mama, Papa, and all his friends. He waved his handkerchief, blew a kiss, and wiped away a tear. But his heart was already in Eretz Yisrael. He arrived in
bakery, common bath house, whatever, some chicken sheds, a few shacks for the people. There were tents that you don't see here. This was for the cows, and here was the entrance. This was the gate. This is that's the way that was in the beginning. Later on, they sort of knocked down the wall in various parts and built outside. When my parents came to this place in 1936, it was already not like this. It was already a little bit expanded. They still lived in a tent for 3 years until they got a mansion. It was like a shack, a long shack of 6 rooms. Every room was like a little bed and a little bit on the side, and that was it. That's how they lived. Then they moved to a real mansion, which was a nice brick room, which was built for them with no kitchen and no bathrooms. It was only a little porch outside, a little tap of water. For bathroom, you had to go like 200 meters away. And that's how they lived until they were 47. I still remember that because I was 5 years old when they moved to their optimum mansion, which was a little 1-bedroom home with a little bit of kitchenette, a little bit and toilets inside. So people really lived here very, very modestly.
We're in an interesting part of Tel Aviv. We're going to Ethiopia now.
They won't disperse it with the kids now. They'll take it.
But we got them under.
He's going to ask about pictures, and until he tells us yes, please do not take pictures of the kids. It's a sensitive issue, okay?
And I just wanted to add a comment that in hundreds of communities all across Israel right now, this kind of preparation is taking place, where every community in at least 1 and sometimes 2, 3, 4, or 5 different places.
Oh my. Not at all. Never not.
Sorry, delete that. I won't send it when I get my version. Is that not in there?
Maybe can we try putting 2 more chairs over there? Okay. Welcome to the JDC PAC program here. We're just going to fix up a couple of seating arrangements and bring everybody into the circle, then we're going to begin. My name is Marcel. I work at the American Jewish Joint Distribution Committee, and I really am so excited to have you here at the PAC program in Lod. This is one of my favorite programs, and it's wonderful to be able to share it with you. As you... Come on in. Will I
and start there. I came to Israel 20 years before, and I'm 14 years old when I came to Israel. I never learned in any language before I came to Israel. I studied social work 10 years ago, and so happy and so like my work here. My wife said that I fall in love with my work than with her. And I have to think about it. מכאן אני חושב שאני אספר להם קצת בעברית, יסלחו לי, וגם זו הזדמנות בשבילם ללמוד קצת עברית, אם נמצאים בארץ הקודש.
So Radai says at this point we're going to be having a bit of simultaneous translation. He says it's also an opportunity for you to practice your Hebrew.
אני אמשיך מהקו שלך ליסה, מרסל, סליחה. בעצם העלייה של יהודי אתיופיה התאפשרה, להזכירכם, אם אתם לא יודעים, במעורבות די גבוהה של יהדות ארצות הברית. אולי זה משהו שחשוב לזכור תמיד.
So what Radai wants to remind you that
How old are you?
Itai? Whose name?
Zion.
This may be where he doesn't want pictures.
Very small, but it's they're everywhere. He's incredibly unusual.
In the Parents and Children project, and we have here a group who's the parents and the children is before he goes to college.
It's getting ready for first grade.
For his first grade. And they are working together in Handmacher.
They're working on a computer program together.
And the main idea is to make the parents and the children make more positive interaction between them and make the children more understand where his parents came from. So this program is also in Hebrew and also in Amharic.
And this is one of them in Lodz.
הילדים מגיעים מהשעה 3:30 עד השעה 6:30, 7.
Children are here from 3:30 to 6:30 or 7, which you can imagine that's key time.
כולל ארוחת 4,
חוגים. So it includes a small meal as well and enrichment activities.
הגילאים זה מגיל 3 עד גיל 7.
3 till 7 years old.
ההורים משלמים סכום סמלי מאוד מאוד בחודש.
This is important. The parents pay a very small amount because they can't really afford, but they do pay something.
Less than $5.
It's less than $5 מזל לשנה או לא?
לא לחודש.
Less than $5 for the whole family a month. But it's a very important thing.
Yes.
And they pay.
Yes.
They pay every month.
And it's an esteemed thing that they should feel that they're not just getting charity, they're doing what they can. And you also understand the value that things don't come for free.
אנחנו עושים איתם מסיבות חג, כמו למשל ליל סדר עשינו לפני שבוע.
Every festival is celebrated together. Oh, we have silence sometimes. Yes. Every festival is celebrated, for example, before Passover.
על המוקד הזה.
Zina's in charge of the center.
בבוקר היא עובדת 3 פעמים בשבוע בקטגן, זה גם כן לילדים של פקט.
We have mini kindergartens that are put up by PACT, and Zina works those in the morning. And so the fact that not only is she also got work.
הטיולים והאירועים
We
שעשינו
also have a little gift here with pictures, photos from the hikes that we did with all the families.
ויש לנו פה שני פסרים שמתארים את היצירות שהילדים עשו במהלך הפעילות.
And we also have folders here with pictures that the children have drawn that during the activities here in the enrichment center, in the packed enrichment center. And this is for you to take back to your communities and tell the stories.
אליסה, תחזיקו את זה רגע, הם רוצים קצת תמונות לקחת.
Welcome to Kalanit. Kalanit is an adoption center from the Jewish agency. I understand that you are coming from all over the states? Yes. All right. Welcome to everybody. My name is Avi Kadosh. I'm the manager of this adoption center. I don't know if you know, but we have in Israel about 30 or 40 adoption centers in all over the country to integrate new immigrants when they come in Israel. Our center is very special in the fact that here in Ashkelon, in Kalanit, all the new immigrants that come here are young people. Young people who come from 18 to 30. All of them are planning to study in Israel. They come after or
They help me with special programs to get into the university. There are certain people that study first the Hebrew, and then they go to Dhaka to study this program. But I came, and I'm just entering this program. I can continue.
How long is the program at Dhaka?
It's about 6 months.
6 weeks?
6 months.
Where do you want to go to school? In Tel Aviv or down in Jerusalem?
A small city near Tel Aviv. It's Ramat Gan.
she's Israeli. She won't stand.
My name is Natalie, and I was born in Argentina actually, but most of my years I spent here, and I'm now a soldier who teaches children, not the soldiers, not here, but today I came to sing, and I teach children Hebrew, actually, like them here. People who are much more higher stance.
איתכם. אני מאוד מקווה לכולנו שאנחנו נמשיך ונשמור על היחסים האלה לאורך המחזורים. אתם תשתחררו החיילים והממשיכים גם ימשיכו עם העולים העתידיים שלנו. הקבוצה השנייה שאני רוצה לברך היא קבוצת UJC, שבאה מארגון הקהילות היהודיות בארצות הברית. הם באו, יש פה קרוב ל-40 איש שבאו מכל מיני מדינות בארצות הברית. הם בסיור בארץ.
יש פינת הדלקת נרות, ואפשר להדליק נרות. לאחר הדלקת הנרות, אני מבקש מכל העולים, יחד עם החיילים, להיכנס אל המועדון, ויש פעילות בנושא מלחמות ישראל שהחיילים מהגדנ"ע הכינו לנו. אנחנו נשמח מאוד אם כולם ישתתפו בפעילות החשובה הזאת. ברגע שתתחיל הצפירה, למעשה ייכנס יום הזיכרון לחללי מערכות ישראל, יום שבו כל עם ישראל בארץ, אני מניח גם בעולם, מתייחד וזוכר את כל הנופלים. הצפירה בעוד 2 דקות. אנחנו ננהג כמו במסדר צבאי. כשאני אומר לעמוד דום, טהורים וגיבורים כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים לנשמות הקדושים שנלחמו בכל מערכות ישראל במחתרת.
ויעבדו מפניך, כי עשית משפטי ודיני, ישבת לכיסא, שופט צדק. גרת גויים, איבדת רשע. שמע
תדמות, תגיד לי איפה יש עולם אחר לחיות. תגיד לי למה אין אמת רק הזיות. אז למה לנסות ולהמשיך עכשיו לבכות? לאורך הים אין גלים, יש עולם שנשבר לרסיסים על תשמור על העולם ילד.
We are honored to stand here with you tonight. We are honored to honor fallen soldiers with you. We are sad that this country has to go through so much.